Frank Viola was a young southpaw who struggled to unleash his full potential for years. But then, suddenly, something clicked. Viola learned to silence the doubts echoing in his mind, cast aside the shadows of his self-doubt, and emerged as the master of his destiny. And so the legend of sweet music, as he was often referred to, was born. With a blazing fastball and a curveball that danced on the edge of impossibility, Viola became an unstoppable force on the mound. Whenever he was on the mound, his arm struck fear into the hearts of batters across the league. Year after year, Viola's durability was as reliable as the rising sun, towing the rubber for a staggering 34 starts or more. From 1982 to 1996, he notched an impressive 176 wins, becoming one of the game's most formidable pitchers. But it wasn't just the numbers that spoke volumes about Viola's greatness. 3 All-Star selections, a Cy Young Award, and a coveted World Series MVP trophy all contributed to his stellar legacy. Simply put, in his prime, he was unstoppable. Despite his achievements, he is often overlooked in baseball history. In this video, we will explore this forgotten hero's career. From the streets of East Meadow, New York, Viola emerged as a baseball prodigy who was very clearly destined for greatness. Frank Viola was born in 1960 and, alongside his siblings John and Nancy, he honed his skills on the diamond of East Meadow High School before ascending to collegiate stardom at St. John's University. Though Viola's journey to the pitcher's mound didn't begin until his junior year of high school, his passion for the game burned bright from an early age. Before focusing on pitching, he started at East Meadow High School as a star first baseman, earning accolades and recognition as a standout player on the All-Nassau County team even as a 10th grader. But fate works in mysterious ways, as they say, and it was an injury to a teammate that thrust Viola into the spotlight as a pitcher for the first time. Despite his lack of experience on the mound, the young southpaw took to the rubber like a duck to water, unleashing a torrent of pitches that left batters shaking in their cleats. The stage was set for Viola's meteoric rise, and on May 21, 1981, destiny intervened as he faced off against future Mets teammate Ron Darling, who was then playing for Yale University. What ensued was nothing short of legendary. It was a duel for the ages that would be talked about for many years. Darling's masterful performance, hurling 11 innings of no-hit ball, clashed with Viola's brilliance, who matched his adversary pitch for pitch, spinning 11 innings of shutout ball before delivering the decisive blow, which was a leadoff single in the 12th inning, propelling his team to victory. Initially drafted by the Kansas City Royals in the 16th round of the 1979 Major League Draft, Viola's journey to the majors would have to wait for a few years. Ultimately, it was the Minnesota Twins who would claim the prized left-hander, selecting him in the second round of the 1981 draft. Viola's Major League debut on June 6, 1982 marked the dawn of a new era for the Minnesota Twins. Though his early statistics may have been modest, the southpaw soon found his stride, cementing his place as a cornerstone of the Twins' rotation for the next 7 seasons. But it was in 1987 that he spearheaded the Twins' historic World Series triumph. With a stellar 17-10 record and a minuscule 2.90 ERA during the regular season, this star player elevated his game to new heights in the postseason, earning the coveted title of World Series MVP after delivering a masterful performance in the decisive Game 7. Yet it was in 1988 that Viola truly ascended to the pinnacle of his craft. Armed with his lethal circle changeup, he dazzled on the mound, amassing a remarkable 24-7 record and leading the league in wins. And to cap it all, his dominance was rewarded with the AL Cy Young Award in a landslide victory, solidifying his status as one of the premier pitchers of his generation. In the scorching heat of the July trade deadline in 1989, the baseball world was rocked by a seismic shift as the Minnesota Twins bid farewell to their beloved ace Frank Viola. So, it happened that just 2 years after leading the Twins to a glorious World Series triumph, Viola found himself suiting up in the blue and orange of the New York Mets, traded in exchange for a cadre of promising pitchers. Now, in all honesty, it was a tumultuous season for Viola, plagued by inconsistency and adversities. Sporting a lackluster 8-12 record at the time of the trade, he faced an uphill battle to regain his form in the unforgiving cauldron of New York baseball. Yet despite the odds stacked against him, Viola displayed the resilience and determination that had made him a household name, finishing the season with a 13-17 record in Mets colors. But it was in the following year that Viola truly found his stride, unleashing a series of dominant performances. With a remarkable 20 wins to his name, he once again found rhythm, earning a third-place finish in the Cy Young Award voting and a well-deserved spot on the National League All-Star team. However, as the Mets faltered down the stretch in the 1991 season, Viola was on a decline too. Despite a stellar first half that saw him earn his third All-Star nod, he stumbled in the later stages of the campaign, enduring a string of disappointing outings that mirrored the team's struggles. And so, with his contract expiring at season's end, Viola bid farewell to the Mets, embarking on the next chapter of his illustrious career. In January 1992, Viola found a new home with the Boston Red Sox, eager to prove that he still had plenty left in the tank. And prove it he did. It so happened that in a spring training game against the Philadelphia Phillies on April 2, 1993, Viola, combined with Corey Bailey, hurled a no-hitter and showcased his enduring talent. Though plagued by injuries in the twilight of his career, Viola continued to defy the odds, donning the uniforms of the Cincinnati Reds and Toronto Blue Jays before ultimately calling time on his illustrious journey on May 28, 1996. With 1,844 strikeouts to his name and a respectable legacy, Frank Viola's impact on the game of baseball can only best be described as undeniable. Now, it's important to note that in the world of Major League Baseball, only a few pitchers have shown as brightly as Frank Viola. Armed with a devastating circle changeup that left batters flailing in its wake, Viola's dominance on the mound was obviously undeniable. Yet for all his undeniable talent, there was one crucial quality that seemed to elude him, and it's consistency. From his breakout campaign in 1984, where he electrified the league with his stellar performance, to the roller coaster ride of wobbly seasons that followed, Viola's career was a study in contrasts. Despite his undeniable brilliance, he struggled to find the elusive rhythm and stability that define the truly great players of the game. Indeed, between 1987 and 1992, Viola ranked as the second most valuable pitcher in the majors in terms of wins above replacement. Yet for all his accolades and achievements, there was a nagging sense of unpredictability that hung over his career like a dark cloud. And so, it often happened that two stellar seasons would be followed by two lackluster campaigns, his WAR bouncing up and down like a yo-yo, leaving fans and pundits alike scratching their heads in frustration. And while his Cy Young Award and his status as one of the game's most valuable pitchers speak volumes about his talent and skill, there's no denying that this great player's lack of consistency ultimately cost him a place among the pantheon of baseball legends. Does Frank Viola deserve a shout for his great time as a baseball player? Absolutely. Unfortunately, though, he didn't back up his numbers with consistency. It may have been a different story if he was constantly putting himself out there, dominating hitters, and consistently silencing doubters with his performances. However, his career didn't reach a stellar level of consistent performances. Before long, he became one of the forgotten heroes who once made baseball great.